For the first time in a very long time, New York Giant fans have a Monday to smile about. Welcome back to the Practical Talker Sports Show. Jordan here, as always, to my left, flanked by Tom to my left. Ringo over Skype. Week 3. The Sunday games of Week 3 have come to an end. We're just waiting for the Monday night game tonight, which is the Bears playing the Redskins. But what stole the headlines yesterday was something not many people expected, especially Giant fans who were screaming at their TVs on draft night. And so yesterday, Daniel Jones makes his debut, and boy, did he impress in a 31-30 victory, comeback victory, should I add, over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What a day for Giant fans, might I say. And what a day for the Giants organization. Ringle, we were on the phone watching this together, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
Yes, we were. Watching it. What were you thinking watching this? Well, as a fan of a team watching a young quarterback in the Jets, what were you watching yesterday with the Giants? Because you kind of know how it feels watching a new hopeful quarterback take the field.
It's definitely a good feeling. If you're a Giants fan, seeing that play out of Daniel Jones in his first start, it's definitely a good thing to see. Obviously, you can't just label him a franchise quarterback yet. You got to see how he develops throughout the season. But that was a very impressive start, and you got to just be if you're a Giants fan, you got to be very happy with what you saw. He exceeded all expectations, and if I was a Giants fan, I couldn't wait till next week.
Yep, I would be the same way. You take it what it is. You take it for just the Sunday in the NFL. You don't get too far ahead of yourself like some fans tend to do. They tend to
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
those same fans that wanted Daniel Jones off the team the second he was drafted are going to be those same fans that are going to get carried away with this and think that he's that's it. He's the starter.
You're exactly right.
Those are the fans that are going to do that. The fans that actually watch the pick, understandably disappointed in the pick, but obviously not ready to throw him out a window. You got to see if he's going to come through. They're happy about last night, and they're going to, like I said, you can't wait for next week.
Yeah, 23 for 36, 336 yards and 2 touchdowns. He ran for 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. Something I didn't know about Daniel Jones, he's fast. He's a quick quarterback.
Yeah.
There was football had its StatCast, like how baseball has StatCast. Football has been doing that with running speed. Like last week we saw Julio's 20-mile-per-hour catch and run off a screen pass. Turned out Daniel Jones' touchdown run, he hit 21 miles an hour. The game-winning touchdown run, he hit 21 miles an hour. I didn't know he was that fast.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's what Carp told me last night.
That means he's faster than Julio Jones.
It's confirmed.
Yep, confirmed.
But, he hit 21 miles an hour yesterday. And, damn, Daniel Jones.
That's shocking.
Saquon Barkley-less Giants.
Yeah, so I'm just going to take you through the game here.
Who
Okay,
got hurt?
As the actual
ahead,
Giants
Tom.
fan,
Yep.
I'll take you through the game. They start off, first drive. We're all excited to see it. As Ringo and Jordan already mentioned, draft night, every Giant fan was not pleased with the pick. I am one of those Giants fans. I wasn't pleased with it. I was skeptical about it, and I was definitely skeptical about it at 6. 17, everyone would have been a little bit more understandable, but they took him at 6. So we go into yesterday, all Giants fans excited, glued to their TV for the first time in weeks. And Tampa Bay, they come out, put up Mike Evans' 21-yard pass from Jameis Winston. They go up 6-0, missing the extra point. Then the Giants come out on the field for the third week in a row. They produce a scoring drive on their first drive of the game with a Rojas field goal, 36-yarder to make it 6-3. Then the Giants defense do what the Giants defense does, and that is just let up touchdowns. And Mike Evans with another 3-yard pass from Jameis Winston to go up 12-3. And in the second quarter, we see Daniel Jones, as Jordan mentioned, and his wheels with a 7-yard touchdown run to bring it to 12-10. This is when Daniel Jones started doing some things that we haven't seen in a while as Giants fans, and that is when you roll out of the pocket, you're not looking to just throw it away. He was looking to go upfield and run the ball, and that is not what I've seen with Eli Manning for a very long time, if ever. So after the second quarter is done, The Giants are down 28-10 at halftime, 18 points deficit. Then the third quarter rolls around. Evan Ingram on the first play from third quarter takes it 75 yards. And they go for the 2-point conversion. Daniel Jones passes it to Sterling Shepard, brings it to 28-18, giving the Giants a little bit of life. And it was said in the second quarter before his touchdown run that he came into the huddle and he let out a curse word, and that took everyone back by surprise and actually fired everyone up. Russell Shepard said it, and all the teammates were talking about it on the sidelines. So that's just interesting to see. No one's heard him curse at all through training
He does
camp.
look like a very quiet guy, like a guy who does not speak that kind of language. He does look like that.
And that's what leaders should do. You don't just talk, Jamal Adams. And then, you have Daniel Jones, who, when he talks, everyone listens because he's a quiet person. So it's two different approaches to leadership there. Then Sterling Shepard gets a 7-yard pass from Daniel Jones to the end zone, 28-25. The Giants are now down to 3-point deficit going into the fourth quarter, where Matt Gay for the Buccaneers brings it to 31-25 with a 23-yard field goal with 6 minutes left. This is when it's looking a little bleak. The Giants had the momentum, but now it's 31-25. See what they could do. If they get it down to the around, I'd say, red zone, 10-yard line, 7-yard line, they get it to all the way to 4th and goal. Last play that the Giants can run, and Daniel Jones takes it 7 yards in, and as Jordan mentioned, he looked quick. He looked very quick.
They showed a replay. The first replay they showed was like the Madden camera angle where you get like behind the offensive line, and you see the offensive line part, and then you see no Buccaneers within miles of the TV. Like they're not even in the screen.
Saquon Barkley, who was on the sidelines, could have been in that
Saquon
with his
on
crutches.
Could have ran that.
Did you
one.
see him celebrating the win after?
There were no Buccaneer defenders within a mile of the screen. He ran in, and there wasn't a Buccaneer in the screen until he hit the end zone. He had so much room to run.
Yeah.
But go on, Tom.
So that's what I wanted to mention. I mentioned his name, Saquon Barkley. That makes this comeback win, this 18-point deficit comeback for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, that much more impressive. Having Saquon Barkley out for the second half, and he still does this. So that just shows you when Saquon Barkley is healthy, that's going to definitely help out Daniel Jones, because they even mentioned it on the broadcast that Saquon Barkley has to take on even more of a leadership role, even though he's a captain, take on more of a leadership role on that offense when they're playing, because Eli Manning, with his 16-plus years experience, was always able to call out the blitzes, always look for the different schemes and switch things up. But now with Daniel Jones, who has never played in a game for the NFL in his life, is back there, Saquon has to help him out a little bit more, be a little bit more communication. So it's just going to be interesting to see. Obviously, you can't get too high on this one. One game, Buccaneers, but definitely could have went the other way. So I'm definitely excited as a Giants fan.
But hey, no, it's poetic justice, because how many times in the past couple of years the Giants have lost on game-winning field goals?
It feels like 23 times. It feels like every loss last year
also
was a field goal.
Also, in comparing it to the Jets, and Sam Darnold's rookie season, yeah, like it was great that he missed a field goal and you guys won the game, but it's really not about winning games. It's just about looking competitive and seeing if Daniel Jones can handle himself in the NFL. That's what it was like for Sam Darnold. Obviously you want to win games.
Yeah, I was going to say, I agree. It's more of how did he do on the field than how did the outcome go. Because if they won 3-0, it would have been 3-0 win would have been a lot. I was going to say a lot worse of a feeling this morning than a 31 let's say 25 loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yes, obviously you
not even
win.
From a stat standpoint. Not even from like a stat standpoint, like 3-0, no one scores, no stats. I'm just talking about like how, let's say the Bucs did hit that field goal. Who cares? Daniel Jones looks like he could win games like in the big moments. Like he can get right there and make games competitive, and that's what you want to see. And as a Jets fan last year, that's what you wanted to see out of Sam Darnold. He did show you that in a couple games at the end of the season, but he needs to show more, just like Daniel Jones needs to show more. Obviously, it's been one game, but that's what I'm talking about in the competitiveness. Like if the Bucs hit that field goal and you lose, if I'm a Giants fan, I honestly wouldn't care because it's not like you're a Super Bowl contender. You saw what you needed to see, and you got to hope that Daniel Jones builds off that.
You can't tell that to a few Giants fans after this morning.
I actually felt good for Giant. Like I felt good for Giant fans. Just like they've endured so much.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you put the W on it afterwards. Like that's even like that's cherry on top.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, Ringo. The win wasn't what mattered most. It was how did Daniel Jones do, and obviously he did great for his first game. But I also think the win mattered a lot, not to Giants fans, not to the record books, but to that team and to Daniel Jones. Did you see him after the game? That win
he looked
meant
like he was
going to
cry. He looked like he was about to cry.
Yeah.
So he was jumping up and down. You know, that
this will
team,
going forward give him confidence, and it will change.
Good.
Yes,
they needed that one. Yeah. If they wouldn't have won, it would have been like, oh, it sucked. But Daniel Jones looked great. But the cherry on top was the win, and that must have felt great for not only the fans, the team. More importantly, the team. With what's been going on for the past 2 years, the Odell saga, the Eli saga, what was the old coach's name that everyone hated? McAdoo saga, the Gettleman saga, why he traded Odell.
Speaking of which,
then he picked Daniel Jones.
Did we see all the memes and gifs of how Gettleman's walking into the front office today on his high horse, just rolling out of the car?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Which is true. If we don't know yet, and we're not going to know for a while, but if he hit on this Daniel Jones pick,
hey, they got a reason to smile.
I was going to say it makes pretty much everything right, even though the Landon Collins thing I didn't agree with. The Odell thing we don't agree with. But if he gets a quarterback,
I got no problem with.
You don't, but I disagree with it. A lot of people agree with it, but I personally don't agree with it. But if he, hits on the quarterback for the next 15 years for the Giants, then yes, everything will be
Daniel Jones has
corrected.
more passing touchdowns than Baker Mayfield does this year. No, he has as many. He has more total touchdowns.
Speaking of Baker Mayfield, did anyone see last night? Baker Mayfield had the exact same look in the red zone where he had a mile to run up the field into the end zone, and he didn't choose to run.
Yeah, well,
it was weird.
Watching that game, Ringo, Jordan said he didn't watch it. If you watched a little bit of it, I only watched maybe 10 minutes here and there, different times of the game, definitely the last little bit of the game. It just seems to me that Baker likes to roll out a lot, and he likes to roll out to the right a good amount whenever he feels. Button. I was going to say, I think he needs to stay in that pocket a little bit more. That's just what I saw from last night's game. He just rolls out to the right all the time. There's one time where he had good protection. He's rolling out to the right, and then you have, as Odell put him, the best player in the NFL, Aaron Donald, come right out and easily could go right after him when he was protected. Aaron Donald wasn't in the play until he rolls out. So I think Baker, in my mind, was just not staying in the pocket long enough. I don't know if he feels like he was going to get a better play rolling out, see more things, but he wasn't staying in the pocket.
Yeah, he probably just hitting the panic button because now he's getting different looks they didn't get last year. Teams are making adjustments to him because now they have a year of film on him. And he might be just panicking in the pocket. He doesn't see his first read. He's like, okay, let me start running. Then the offensive line breaks down. The whole play upfield breaks down. Then you're just going on the fly. And you can't win like that. You gotta be calm, cool, and collected in the pocket. But
let's quickly just go back to this Giants game to finish this recap so we can move forward into the other games. Daniel Jones, 4 carries, 28 yards to 2 touchdowns. That also was very – because I would say if we saw 23 of 36, 336, 2 touchdowns, everyone would still be excited. But what puts everyone over the top was the rushing in my mind.
Yeah, he had a nice read option for a touchdown.
He escaped a lot of plays where he was under distress, which was nice. Some of them he rolled out and threw it. There's one where he threw a 40-yard pass to Slayton after he was under distress a little bit, which was a beautiful throw right on the money. So that was also coming into the season, which were a lot of people were a little weary on was, does he have the accuracy on the deep ball? Can he throw the deep ball? So we didn't see a lot of it, but we did see a couple of the throws, and they looked right on target. Evan Ingram.
He had a big game.
The tight end. Everyone loves to say slash wide receiver. That one-handed catch, he was perfectly covered. It was just he was taller than the other guy.
Yeah,
that was it.
I just saw it on the highlights.
Yep, he had 6 receptions, 113 yards, a touchdown. Sterling Shepard always looks nice out there. He just I don't know why when I watch Sterling Shepard, he just looks like he wants it more than a lot of people on the field. He just puts his head down and goes, which may be why he's gets a good amount of concussions putting his head down. But he looks like a dog out there, as a lot of people say. Then on the opposite side, I think the Bucs lost this one more than the Giants won this one. The Bucs,
that could be said.
Because the
had
Bucs
this game in the bag.
But not only that, they go into the second half, and Mike Evans, the first half, just killed them. Janoris Jenkins could not be on the same field as Mike Evans. Mike Evans finished the game with 8 receptions, 190 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's ridiculous.
Monster day.
Here's the problem, though. That's a monster first half, because I think besides a couple of those receptions, he didn't have anything really in the second half. But it wasn't like the Giants
big play that set them up for the field goal.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the Giants changed any schemes. They did a little bit. They went.
They
definitely
had to make some defensive adjustments because they did look a little better in the second half defending the pass. And
well, obviously, 28 points in the first half for the Bucs, 3 in the second half.
A team making adjustments at halftime?
I've
never seen that. I don't see that with my team.
So, yes, they did make adjustments. The Giants definitely did make adjustments. But Mike Evans, with the day he was having, how you do not try to get him the ball more.
Mike Evans was like a fingertip away from doing it again to them with that big catch at the end of the game. But then this was mind-boggling. So as the play was developing, so they catch it. He gets the catch within easy chip shot range for the Buccaneers, Mike Evans. Then they get to the line and spike it with like 8 seconds, 12 seconds left on the clock, I think. I'm like, okay, you have a timeout. Why did you spike it? You should have just lined up and then waited to call your timeout with like a second left in the game, so the Giants didn't have to risk. Like you don't risk the Giants maybe running it back or Hail Mary.
Well, the Giants could run it back no matter what.
If you noticed, they spiked it and they had the one timeout left and they spiked it with 13 seconds left. And the next play they called was QB Neal, but Jameis Winston took it and went to the left. Okay,
well, that's because that's where the kicker wants it. So they needed to save the timeout.
And it wound up being a further distance.
Well, so
and then
it's
Bruce
a little
Arians said that I felt more confident with him at a further distance.
Well, you're not putting the explanation on it as you should. The further distance wasn't because where you kneel back a couple of yards and put it on the right hash or the left hash. So they wanted
right.
The further distance was because Bruce Arians literally took a delay of game on purpose, so that way he could go back 5 yards because he felt that Matt Gay was better from a further distance.
This all goes to the end of all this was going to go to a point, which I was going to say, why did they? That was horrible coaching at the end of the game.
The delay, I just think the delay, taking the delay game on purpose was horrible coaching. Everything else I understand. You want to spike it,
yes.
You want to spike it, and then you want to save your one timeout. That way you can get the ball. You can get where the ball is lined up in position where fits your kicker's strength, which was fine. I was okay with that. But then the delay of game was the big question mark. I didn't understand that.
He said there was no need to rush it. He feels like the kicker would have been a little bit better back from a longer distance.
I don't understand that logic.
I don't understand that. Well, in the first half,
Didn't he miss like 2 kicks before that?
No, I was gonna say he missed the extra point. The other one was blocked. He missed the field. Like he was having trouble, and I think he would have been more confident maybe with a chip shot. But even 5 yards, I don't think make or break a lot of kickers.
Hey, 5 yards could have kept that ball barely inside the upright.
When we were watching it, Jordan, when they spiked it, I was with you. We were both saying, why did he do that? But then once he called the next play and kneeled it and moved over the way he did, that got understood. But then obviously delayed.
Yeah, so I agree with Ringo. The only part here that I don't really agree with is the delay of game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Bruce Arians knows his kicker, but
Bruce Arians is a great coach.
Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't in the sense of a Pat Shurmur doing it or an Adam Gase doing it.
Is he a great head coach?
Yes, he is a great head coach.
He's a great head coach? Where has he won as a head coach?
Well, I don't think he's won a Super Bowl as a head coach, but that doesn't mean you're not a great head coach.
He's one of the better head coaches in the league. He doesn't have
I would take him. The Cardinals, he did some things with. I would take him over Pat Shurmur.
I don't think he's great. I think he's good. I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's great.
He was with the Colts.
Yeah, I know as a head coach.
Yeah, but I would. Okay, fine. He's a great coach, head coach. He's a good head coach.
He's a good, exactly. He's a good coach. I wouldn't say he's a great coach.
Mm-hmm. So, but before you get off this Giants game, the other thing we have to obviously talk about is why this win for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants is much more impressive, is Saquon Barkley going down to a high ankle sprain.
Getting an MRI today.
Yep. So he said he's not out for the season, but high ankle sprains, who knows with that? Saquon
It
Barkley.
could be lingering all year.
Last year, or one of the years he got hurt, Odell had a high ankle sprain. He missed a couple weeks.
He's had many injuries, shoulder
I could use
sprains.
him out this week. I play him in fantasy, so
that would be perfect
this
for
week
you.
coming up, yeah.
After you put up the 194 plus points.
I still get 200. I'm 3 points away from 200. I got the Bears going tonight.
You think
That's
you a buy in the
insane.
first round?
What?
Get you a buy in the first round.
That's what I'm hoping for.
But Saquon Barkley, high ankle sprain, could he be out for 2 weeks, 8 weeks? It's yet to be seen. Saquon Barkley is also a type of person, wouldn't surprise me if he plays next week somehow. But I don't want him to rush anything back because, as Giants fans should agree with, there's no need to. We're not in the hunt for anything. Daniel Jones, yes, would it help his development and his experience having Saquon Barkley in the backfield with him? Yes.
Who they got next
But
week?
next week, the New York Giants will be taking on the Washington Redskins at home. And that game is at 1 o'clock. Giants 1-2. Redskins 0-2, but will be playing tonight. Probably going to 0-3 if we're honest about it. And you know what would be interesting?
What?
Next week, the Redskins come into MetLife and they bring out Dwayne Haskins for the first start of his NFL career.
Case Keenum's been playing serviceable for them.
He's got 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's looking good.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
So
unless he gets, excuse me, unless he gets like shelled tonight and he gets hurt, then yeah. Even if he has a bad game tonight, they won't get Dwayne Haskins. Only the way they'll go Dwayne Haskins is if he gets hurt.
So then, how long would you give it? Would you say that you two would do the same method for the Giants as the Redskins?
Well, I don't know the Redskins as much as I know the Giants, so I can't really comment.
Well, you have a rookie quarterback, who is going to hopefully be their future. And they have
but we don't really know the Redskins situation.
They go 0-3. Their playoff hopes are dwindling rapidly. So I think you start maybe obviously not what the Giants
Case
do.
Keenum's playing
2 games,
good though. So
but Eli Manning was also not playing horribly and not playing in the sense that they were losing games. He just wasn't winning the games, but he wasn't losing those games. It wasn't Eli's fault.
Can't rush.
It's still back to the defense.
A decent start. You can't rush to it. You can't. Well, you can't really.
No, I'll take the same stance.
I don't really know the Redskins situation, so it's hard to comment. I don't really know what's going on.
I know. I'll take the same stance that I would on Daniel Jones. If he's not a sure thing, like an Andrew Luck #1 pick, like a Peyton Manning #1 overall pick, if it's like a risky pick or has some doubts, like that, there's like the rumors are coming out that he might not be ready or anything on any team. I think the longer you wait to see him is for the best. So. That's how I felt with Daniel Jones. That's how I feel with Dwayne Haskins too. If the Redskins could ride Case Keenum for as long as they possibly could and just have Dwayne Haskins try to learn this game and get up to the speed of the NFL, I think that's the best case scenario. I still feel that way about the Giants, but they made the choice to throw him in there. He impressed, and we'll see how that works out.
And I said it with Daniel Jones. I see both sides of it. I'm going to say with Dwayne Haskins, I understand both sides of it. But when you just said to get up to NFL speed, guess what? Practice with the first team isn't NFL speed. NFL speed is not going to be NFL speed until your regular season game. Maybe preseason
it's true, but
a
you don't
little
want to
bit.
throw him to the wolves. Like we said last week with Daniel Jones, he did have one good game, so okay. But again, you don't
throw him to the wolves.
You don't want to throw Dwayne Haskins in there. But
yeah,
again,
I don't care.
Really know the Washington Redskins situation. It's hard to comment. Like we knew a lot about the Giants
from an outsider perspective, though. With the Redskins, they're in the same boat in the sense of QB for the future, not looking for postseason playoff games. And what are we doing here? Case Keenum is an older quarterback. He's not the quarterback for the future.
But he's kind of playing. Let me see this.
Are they arguably closer to the playoffs in the sense of the team that they have on the field than the Giants? I'd go with yes, probably. If
Case
they can
Keenum's
play any
playing pretty
defense,
good, though.
yes.
He's not playing
No, I
great,
would say they're about the same level of bad. Who
they
are
have
the
a
Red?
better defense. But
Well, I
that's
was
not
going to
saying
say they have
much.
a really good safety.
Not by
on the team that
much.
just
Not by
signed for a lot of
much.
money. Landon Collins.
But the Reds, Case Keenum's like Eli was playing bad. Case Keenum's playing good enough. So that's why you're not going to rush to
Well,
bench
Eli Manning
Case
wasn't
Keenum.
playing bad. Eli Manning was playing serviceable. He was playing fine. This was not on Eli.
Was he?
Yes, he was playing fine.
That was a big point in why we thought it was a forced move. I thought it was a forced move because the reason why the Giants were 0-2 was not due to Eli. Eli was wasn't playing great football, but he was playing good enough to keep you guys in games. It was just the defense that could not handle their own against anybody.
And the defense with Daniel Jones
Almost blew it again.
blew it again, and it would have been blown if it wasn't for, as I said, the Bucks probably losing it. Now, Jordan said if Eli was playing horrible, yes, if Eli's going out there 300 yards in 2 games and 5 interceptions, 1 touchdown, okay, yeah, let's make this change. But he was playing fine, so I was surprised. Which
is why I was on the stance that it was a forced move.
Eli was just waiting for the domino to fall because it's been like now 2 years where it's like you've seen his decline. So just Case Keenum, I don't think is there yet, and so I don't think you're going to rush to it. But again, we really don't know what's going on in Washington, so I really hard to have a take on this to throw Dwayne Haskins in there. We wouldn't be talking about this right now if Daniel Jones didn't just go out and have a great game. If he had I would have
brought up the Dwayne Haskins thing coming in and starting for the Redskins against the Giants, no matter Eli or Daniel Jones playing this game.
I don't see him starting.
Well, I would have just said it because of the whole debacle with Dwayne Haskins dropping to the Giants. Oh, should the Giants take him at 6? Are the Giants going to take him? He wants to be here. The
Dwayne
Giants
Haskins
should take
did not
him.
have a good preseason. So we got to keep that in mind as well.
Yep.
He did not have a good preseason.
To just touch on the Redskins quickly, just the Redskins. Jordan Reed, a tight end for them, who is, when healthy, one of the top tight ends in the league. But he might be
Career's
done.
over.
Yep, concussions.
That guy's always in concussion protocol.
Yes, it's
Just
sad to see.
a semi side note here. Ian Rappaport just tweeted, I think he still needs to get the MRI, but he said the Giants are expecting to be without Saquon Barkley for the next several weeks because of the high ankle sprain.
Told you, high ankle sprain. Don't mess with that. Odell had a high ankle sprain either last year or the year before that.
Is it season ending like Saquon Barkley said it was not? No, it's not season ending. But will he be out for 8 weeks?
Let him be out for as long as he needs to be. That's how I feel with Sam Darnold right now. Do not rush him back week 5. Like after the bye.
Ankle sprain and mono, I'd say, are a little bit different.
How?
I don't care what it is. It's a sickness or an injury. You don't want to have to rush anyone back regardless.
Yeah, you don't need them for a big
in a season where you're both not contenders.
I would say once Sam Darnold feels better and spleen, everything's checked out that he will not be injured from it, you can play him, and he
came
fine.
to the facility before, like this past week, and he was saying that it's realistic to believe that he's back week 5, which is not next week. They have the bye; it's the week after. Mm-hmm. I still feel a little skeptical of that. I don't want them to just feel like they have to force him back because they're coming off after a bye week. I don't care if I see him till week 6, week 7. I don't care. Just make sure he's perfectly healthy, and there's no risk of him furthering his illness or anything on the field. And that's the same way you should feel with Saquon Barkley. You want to make sure this high ankle sprain is because running backs don't have a good enough lifespan in the NFL regardless, and you don't want him to have a lingering injury for the rest of his career.
Not only that, but you don't want him to have a lingering leg injury. The thing that makes him the money is his legs. So
any injury, if he breaks his arm, he can't play.
Well, yes, obviously, but once that arm's healed, I don't have to worry about him cutting, him running upfield, him doing any jukes.
Obviously, I know.
That.
Obviously, I know the leg is more important, but you got to have the same mentality with any injury, regardless.
Well, yes, but I would believe that you even have to be more careful with the leg injury.
Would you be just as careful with a head injury?
Yeah,
or a shoulder injury?
Yes,
because anytime he gets hit, that thing can it can pop right back out, and then possibly tear a ligament.
Yes, you should be careful with all of them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, more careful with the leg.
All right. Yeah, but I agree. Don't rush Saquon back. I picked a good week to play him because now he's going to be out this week.
I know, you got lucky.
If you played him in the next 6 weeks, you'd be fine.
Yeah, I might be fine. Yeah, I told you, high ankle sprain. Odell had that same injury either last year or the year before, and he was out a while. And then, bang, hit the nail on the head. So, yeah, don't rush Sam back. Don't rush Saquon back because neither team are in any rush to make any
Like,
postseason run.
I'm expecting Sam Darnold to come back week 6. Like everyone wants week 5. All the Jet fans are like, we need it because like we're gonna get him back and
I was
be a
gonna say,
contender.
so wasn't
yeah.
we talk about the tweet
Now-
or whatever it was that,
now that we're
they
on-
believe he's going to be
yeah,
10-6.
Now
the
that
Jets.
now that we're on the Jets now, yeah, they have a lot of injuries. Mosley, trust me, I know. I've seen him in the AFC North with the Ravens for years. He's a very good linebacker, really good, Pro Bowl linebacker. Quentin Williams, you don't know what you're going to get from him. Yeah, he's a 3rd overall pick, but that doesn't mean he's going to be good. He's supposed to be good, but that doesn't mean he is good. But he's out.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that we haven't
Yeah.
seen anything out of him
Your
yet.
your
That's
starting
all you can say.
Yeah, your starting quarterback, who's again supposed to be good, but you don't know yet, is out. You have your offensive line struggling. Your secondary's bad. You have no weapons on offense other than Le'Veon Bell, and we saw what happens when you just keep giving him the ball against a good team.
The Patriots are like defensively is one of the best teams that they've ever had.
Sound.
Well, the Jets, they didn't let up any points on offense. The Jets
They've
scored
let
all their
up 3
on
points in
defense.
3 weeks. They let up 3 points in 3 weeks. The
Yeah,
Patriots
the
defense.
The Steelers are responsible for that big
See,
3 points.
But now here's the thing with the Jets. In the past 3 games against the Patriots, Browns, and Bills, their defense has outscored their offense.
Yes.
And it's not even close. It's not even by a point or 3 points. Their defense has scored, quick maths here,
I think
22 points. And
Well, no,
their
well-
offense has scored 11.
Well,
So
no.
their defense
The special team scored 6 points.
Okay, sorry. Special
The
teams
defense, yes.
We'll just
Well,
look
no,
at
you can't
defense.
put them. For a fantasy football perspective, they're the same thing. But in the NFL, they're not the same thing. Those are 2 different units.
But here's the thing: it's not punt return, it's not kick return. It was the defensive aspect of the special teams.
No, it was a punt return. They muffed the punt. They picked it up. It was the offensive punt that they scored on.
No, they were kicking it away. Correct, Ringo?
Yeah, the Jets were kicking away. You still can't count that as the defense.
That's not the defense.
That
Tom.
was
you
the
can't count
offensive side of the punt. Yeah, that's offensive side of the punt. I would look at it.
No, they're kicking it away. The punter muffs it. They pick it up into the end zone. That's
That's
on,
not defense.
That's not a
defense,
defensive
but it's not
touchdown.
on the opposite side of it.
I wouldn't consider that part of the defense.
It's special
if you counted the
teams.
score.
It's a
It's
special
its own,
team
it's its own
touchdown.
entity. Special teams. Yes,
That's what
it
I'm
is
trying to
correct.
say. In fantasy football, it's the same thing, but that's fantasy football. In the NFL, there's 3 units: offense, defense, special teams.
Yes, you are correct. But now, if we had a Devin Hester back there returning it, that's a little bit different than a muffed punt, and they pick it up into the end zone.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, moving on. Yes, you are correct. There's 3 different
So-
ones. Special
so
teams,
the
special
defense
teams
have
and
scored-
defense.
The defense have scored, 14 points? Then
15, I think. 15. I saw
15.
yesterday.
Yes, because they got
Or-
a pick 6. CJ Mosley pick 6 in week 1. They got a safety in that same game, and then so that's 8. And then the 6 points. No, it's 14. Then the 6 points on the pick 6 with Jamal Adams.
They got a
So that's
1-point
14
conversion.
points. So that's 14 points
Yeah,
that they've
14 points. But you know,
yeah. to the offense is
yeah, you
11
do
points.
have
It's still abysmal. It's still abysmal.
Either way, you should not be outscored through 3 games
you-
by
you
your
do have
defense / special teams.
absolute no names as your quarterback, but that doesn't mean that you can't
Yep.
do absolutely nothing offensively in 2 games. Literally,
Yep.
absolutely nothing offensively. I honestly did not think they got past midfield yesterday, but apparently they did. They had 0 third down conversions. Last week against the Browns, they could not do anything. Another 3 points, right? They got last week. They got 3 points last year. Yeah, they lost 23-3 last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And it doesn't get easier. They go against the Eagles, who now the Giants are tied with for second in the NFC
Yeah.
East. Just want you to know that.
Oh
yeah,
god.
they got the
All right.
Cowboys, right?
No, but Jordan, wait, what?
They got the Cowboys after
Cowboys
the bye,
and
right?
Eagles.
Cowboys, Eagles, yeah.
Eagles, Cowboys, and I think they have the Patriots again. So
Yeah. So, yeah,
Good luck.
looking at 0-6.
no, but again, Jordan, I agree. I don't care who's injured or who's at quarterback. The offense over the first 3 weeks, it looks absolutely terrible. And yesterday was the worst of it all. Yesterday was so bad. Like you said, 0 for 12 on third down. They had like 105 total yards. They only got 4 first downs the entire game. Like, it's just with Adam Gase, he's supposed like I was skeptical of the Adam Gase hire from the start. I'm not calling for his job, obviously. You got to let him pan out and see what he can do. But
Call for it, Ringo. Call
But
for
the fact that this offense just looks so bland and just so like
Bland is putting it good.
I know, like so.
Okay, but no one can use. You're not. I know you're not. you're not the type of fan to do it. But a lot of fans will probably using the excuse of, they're with the backup quarterback, so we can't really blame him. Yes, you can. If you know who you're putting on that field, you change your offense a little bit. You change your play calling to maybe cater towards them, do a little different looks, try to help him out a little bit with your play calling. But the problem is we can't even ask Adam Gase to do that because it doesn't even seem like he's doing any play calling.
No one's asking for them to send out Luke Falk and to be competitive every game.
And throw it 80 yards down the field.
No one's expecting him to throw for 300 yards. They're just looking for like a competent offense, and they just look lost. And with
even week one, though,
coach, like he's supposed to be this quarterback offensive guru, and they've shown nothing of that in 3 games.
I've been skeptical of the hire since day one, since he got hired. I literally said the only positive to this hire is that he's offensive-minded, and we don't have a defensive-minded head coach anymore. That's the only positive, and that's living up to its expectations. And even week one, I understand we found out later on that Sam Darnold had mono, and that could have been the reason why the offense didn't move a lot. But even week one, the plays looked this bad. Like it did. Like it still did. Yeah, and it's just progressively getting worse and worse because you're down to your second and third string quarterback now, which is understandable. But I'm not giving a pass. Like Sam Darnold comes back, that's it. We're going to be the Chiefs. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
in the snap of a week, you got to hope that they could look decent by the end of the year when Sam Darnold comes back. But that looks like a long shot with seeing what he's putting out there.
I see many fans thinking this is an injury problem.
It
is a team problem. The Jets are
it is
not
a team problem because it's not just the quarterback play. The offensive line is bad right now, very bad. The pass rush is bad. I understand there's injuries there too, but it's still bad. The cornerbacks, they're benching Trumaine Johnson. They didn't bench him last. They had him in sub packages yesterday, but the cornerbacks are still, even with Trumaine Johnson starting and playing well, the cornerbacks are still a liability because your opposite guy is Darryl Roberts, who isn't good. So they did not address these needs in the offseason, and they need to do that this offseason if they want to be able to put a good team together.
All right, so here's a question for you two. Is it me, or does the NFL have a backup quarterback problem? In the sense of, a lot of people like to use the excuse, the starter is injured, the backup comes in. Are we not planning for the starter to be injured? It's the NFL. Are we not planning for the starter to, play a little bit bad and maybe have to go with the quarterback? How come it seems like only the Saints are understanding this and they have two solid? Teddy Bridgewater isn't solid, but Teddy Bridgewater can win games. They had Drew Brees and then Teddy Bridgewater. It seems like the Jets. It seems like a lot of teams. Their quarterback, their backup quarterback.
There's not many quarterbacks out there.
Yes, but there should be a little bit of thinking maybe possibly you'll be able to win with your backup, but if you're going to your backup and you think you've already lost, that's a problem.
There's not a big pool of quarterbacks to take from. So
in a perfect world, you have your franchise quarterback and then you have a serviceable backup, but that's a rarity.
Yeah, the Patriots don't have a backup.
Yeah,
the Jets don't.
Well,
I just don't think that.
The Eagles technically addressed it because they know Carson Wentz. They signed They got Josh McCown out of retirement, so they attended to that need. If that's what you're saying.
Jaguars didn't. They're getting kind of lucky. We'll see how long this Minshew stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
But many teams don't have that luxury.
That's
but,
what
hey,
I just
even
don't.
Teddy Bridgewater is kind of okay.
No, Teddy Bridgewater had a very good. Teddy Bridgewater had a very good preseason with the Jets, and then they traded him to. They got a third-round pick from the Saints. So the Saints did address that issue. They liked what they saw.
Teddy Bridgewater's out. He's okay.
I'm not saying
I'm trying to think of the backups in the league.
I'm not saying he's like an elite starting quarterback.
He beat the Seattle Seahawks 19 of 27, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns for Teddy Bridgewater, and he beat the Seahawks, who were 2-0.
A lot of those were Alvin Kamara screen passes.
Well, yes, Alvin Kamara had 9 receptions for 92 yards and 1 touchdown. Yes, but Teddy Bridgewater played the game that he had in front of him and won the game against a good team. So, but see, here's the thing. So you're telling me in the NFL and in the world, from the pool of backup quarterbacks, there's only 32 solid quarterbacks, and after that, they're all just okay and bad.
There's not even 32 solid quarterbacks, Tom.
Yeah, there's not even 30. That's how scarce of a position it is.
Teams can't even get the team's concern is getting the one starting quarterback. That's the biggest issue.
They don't have one. or the Raiders or the Bengals.
The Raiders, it's still yet to be seen.
You could say the Broncos have been having issues with that, and then you get Joe Flacco. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, I would take Joe Flacco as a backup. I would take, but I understand what
It's
you're
not
saying.
a backup.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I understand what everyone's saying on. It's hard for 32 teams to even get one quarterback, which is, I understand. But I just don't think that in the NFL, backup quarterbacks are addressed more as they should be, like the Saints did.
They should be addressed more, but there's not many to pick from. It's not. It's a very limited position. It's not like, okay, we need a backup safety. Let's go just get a backup safety. That's manageable.
If every team,
quarterback's not that easy.
If every team could get a solid backup quarterback, I believe they would. It's just that it's not that easy.
But and the Saints did. But see, now here's the thing.
And look what the Saints had to do. They had to trade a third-round pick for it.
Yes, but now
that's a high price.
That is a high price. But now that Drew Brees went down, Teddy Bridgewater, if he could hold the ship until Drew Brees gets back, and they can make it into the playoffs, that third round is worth it.
Yeah,
it's 100% working out for them. But technically,
have that option to do that because there's not many Teddy Bridgewaters out there, if any Teddy Bridgewaters.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's only one Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
And it could have been a waste. It could have been a waste of a third-round pick because Drew Brees could have never gotten injured, and they could have wasted a third-round pick, and Teddy Bridgewater could have just stayed on the bench. But they had it just in case.
But not only that, I look at the Patriots. Tom Brady, who was injured 1 year for a full year, and we had Castle come in, and obviously Castle did what he did. But say like this year, the Patriots are poised to go back to the big game, and now Tom Brady goes down with an injury for 8 weeks or so, and they go to their backup.
You say that with any quarterback.
Well, no, I'm saying the team is poised to go. Their defense, solid. Offensive weapons, more solid than they have been in year.
Same thing with the Rams. Or the Rams, I could say the same thing.
So that's what I'm saying. If your team is playoff ready on all assets, and like you can't say really with the Packers because Aaron Rodgers makes the Packers. So if he goes down, their backup is not going to be the same. But with
Tom Brady makes the Patriots.
Oh no, he definitely makes the Patriots. But I'm saying that their defense is solid. Their offense is
the Packers'
solid.
defense is solid too.
Defense is very good
it's more solid. Yeah. Yes, it is more solid than previous years. What I'm saying is the other years when Aaron Rodgers went down, it was because Aaron Rodgers ran that team. What I'm trying to say is,
if Aaron Rodgers went down now, they could be in games because their defense is a lot better.
Yes,
they improved their defense a lot. They finally fixed that issue. They look through 3 weeks. They look really good, and if they can keep that up, they could be a top 5 defense.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is the Patriots, if they don't have a solid backup when Tom Brady goes down, they might be out of playoff contention.
Hey, with Belichick, really, he has a great system running, so he can make a backup.
Yeah, Garoppolo, what, won him 4 games?
Garoppolo, Brissett, Matt Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't, just because he came in and threw a pick doesn't mean he's going to be bad.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know who this guy is.
He's a rookie. He got drafted this year. Stidham, whatever. I don't even know how to say.
I'm not pleased with the Patriots. Were they up 30-0? It was looking like my Pats minus 22 pick was within ease.
Jets covered.
Yes, so that pissed me off.
What did I say? I said I have a feeling the Jets are going to cover. I didn't want to take that risk, but I had a feeling.
Well, they wouldn't have if the Patriots played the full 60 minutes.
And I got lucky that they.
Yeah, exactly.
I got lucky from a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown.
Oh boy! And the Patriots' secondary offense couldn't pull out anything.
The Patriots,
even if they scored one touchdown, I would have
covered in the first 8 minutes.
I was gonna say, I was like, this pick was an easy pick,
and then 3 touchdowns and 3 drives.
And the Cowboys picked I was thinking about because of the Dolphins. I didn't go with it when the Patriots won instead. The Cowboys covered.
I remember my picks. I don't even know what I got.
Well, I'll quickly go about it. Me, Tom, 1-3, or what? Sorry, 1-2. I took the Packers, who covered. They beat.
I thought I took the Packers.
No, I'm sorry, Jordan. You took the Rams, Cardinals, and Chargers. You went 1-2 as well.
Every week I go
Ringo,
1-2.
What did you go? 1-2 as well.
We all went 1-2 again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Ringo took the Bucks.
I almost had it.
-6.
I was a field goal. It was -6.
So if they hit,
why did I think it was -1.5?
I don't know, but because you did have the Falcons, who were +1.5, That
Oh,
didn't
maybe I
help
mixed
you.
those up. Yeah.
And the Texans +3,
Yeah.
which was the one you won.
Every week we're going 1-2. This is ridiculous.
That's Vegas, man. They do there's a
Vegas,
science
they
behind
they
this.
know how to put the points.
Vegas
they know what they're
knows.
doing.
Vegas knows what's up.
Yeah.
So,
They knew the Steelers were to get Minka Fitzpatrick.
Just like
before anyone
I've
did.
come to terms with it. Whatever I'm thinking, just however I feel, I'm just gonna do the opposite and then see what happens.
that's a good way to look at it.
Serious.
I said yesterday I'm going to start like if anyone if you want to take you don't even have to go to Vegas for this advice. Here's some advice on betting. If you want to win some money, anytime the
Don't
Steelers
bet.
take a lead in a game, bet that the other team's going to score that next drive. Because 19 times out of 20, you're probably going to be right. 'Cause that defense sucks.
So I just want to quickly cover one of the games everyone was excited for around the league and including fans, even if you weren't a fan of the two teams, the Ravens and the Chiefs. Obviously, you had Pat Mahomes coming into the season with the Chiefs. Everyone was excited to see what Lamar Jackson could do, and boy, has he lived up to the hype. So everyone thought it was going to just be back and forth slobber knocker over here. And it proved to be an exciting game. Chiefs won 33-28. Mahomes did what Mahomes does, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. And he just made everyone on that field.
That game wasn't close at one point. Ravens
Oh, it
came
was
back and
not.
made it in the game. Yeah, Ravens
Yes.
came back and made it a game.
That's right. Lamar Jackson had a 9-yard run with 2 minutes left in the fourth, and then 2-point conversion failed, and it brought it to 33-28. So if he converted that 2-point conversion, they would have been down 3. But
Did they get the ball back, or did the Chiefs kill the game?
I believe I believe the Chiefs killed the game. I'm not too sure. I don't think they got the ball back, though.
Lamar Jackson had some very questionable plays in that game. I don't know if any of you saw it.
Oh, no,
Oh, that
he
big-
got bailed out 2 times.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
lollipop he threw to Willie Snead.
He threw 2 lollipops.
He did? I
2
always saw the
times.
Willie Snead
There's
one.
one down the
Yeah.
field that he just threw up that was challenged to be offensive pass interference, and he just threw it up one-on-one, and his guy went and turned around last second and got it because
Yeah.
no one was expecting that. So, yeah, the Chiefs had a 30-13 lead, 17-point deficit for the Ravens, and they battled back to 33-28. So,
You know, Lamar Jackson's only 2 regular season losses have came against the Chiefs.
well, he should right the ship because if the Ravens want to get to the Super Bowl, they're probably going to have to go through the Chiefs. Unless the Patriots, well, yes, or the Patriots. So, AFC Championship, they want to get there. You're versing the Chiefs or the Patriots. You're versing probably the other one before you get there. So, they're going to have to probably go through both because the Chiefs and Patriots are probably going to be 1 and 2.
Read something. Arthur Staple tweeted 17 minutes ago, the Islanders' main beat writer, groundbreaking for new Isles Arena this afternoon at Belmont. What is? I don't know what that means.
That's all he tweeted. No picture, no article, no
nothing,
nothing.
just
Well,
groundbreaking.
that means that they're breaking ground, Jordan. I'm going to go with.
Yeah, define breaking ground. It's
Digging.
very broad. I guess digging.
The shovels are in the ground.
The shovels are in the ground, I guess.
I'm guessing so.
I guess so. All right, so good for the Islanders. Only took them how long? like 50 years to finally get a new stadium, arena.
They got a new stadium. They got a new train stop. They got everything there.
Yeah, no,
for
they
'em.
got the whole Belmont site they're redoing. They're making just for the Islanders. So
makes
finally,
it
the
easy.
Islanders get. Islander fans get what they've been dying for so many years. What Charles Wong tried to get with the Lighthouse Project that ultimately got denied by Nassau County, and then. So finally, Mike, this new arena might even attract free agents, something the Islanders have struggled for so many years to do, which was attract free agents.
Do you think the arena would
Yes,
actually attract?
a lot of guys don't come to the team. I'll give you an example in a second. A lot of guys don't come because they don't know where they're going to play, and they don't like going to 2 different arenas, or they don't like the Coliseum.
So what you're saying
Ryan
is,
Smith didn't come back because of that.
so what you're saying is it's not really the stadium or the arena that you're talking about. It's just that they actually will have one. You're not saying that Belmont and what is projected to happen is why. You're just saying that they'll actually have one home, so maybe people will come.
Bull. It has to do with, one, they're getting a new arena that's actually a modern arena. 2, they're not bouncing back from one arena to the next. 3, the players will now know, okay, I know where I'm going to be playing for the next X amount of years. And 4, they don't want to play at a crap hole like the Coliseum.
But see, here's the thing. I thought players on the Islanders and Isles fans love the Coliseum.
Oh, we do, and
But
the
the
players
players
on the team do. But like,
so then why?
they can't attract free agents. Free agents don't want to play there.
But everyone knows that it's unlike any other arena in the NHL.
Yeah, define unlike. What do you mean unlike any arena?
I would say the atmosphere, just the overall feel of it.
Yeah, but it's kind of a
That's
crappy
only
arena.
true. That's only true for like the history of the Coliseum to the players that have been on this team for a long time. Players that don't know anything about it that are coming in
I'll tell
don't
you,
have
there's a
that
lot-
emotional connection.
You go to Montreal or Toronto for a playoff game. That atmosphere is just as better. I haven't even been there. I just see it on TV. You go to a Canadian teams, or you go to St. Louis. You go to Nashville for a playoff game. Those
And maybe
atmosphere's just as
It's also
same.
it's not like it's anything that's not being repeated, and it's also something that's not permanent, and players know that.
Well, maybe with the new arena, Belmont, seating-wise and everything, the Isles can, like Jordan say, attract some people, and the playoff atmosphere might be not up there with, obviously, the Canadian teams, but maybe up there
Don't
top
get me
of the
wrong.
league.
The Coliseum atmosphere is insane. I've been there. It's crazy. But it doesn't stand alone. There's other teams that mimic it. Islanders are one of the top teams that have that playoff atmosphere there. But they're not alone, though. But and it's not only like the seating and the stadium itself, like the conditions for the players, like the locker rooms suck, apparently. All the players hate the locker rooms there. They're tiny and whatnot. It's not a professional arena. And like the 4 reasons I just stated before are the reasons why players don't come. And now finally they're going to have an arena to themselves. Fans are going to have an arena that they can call home. And it's about time. Probably give it 2 more years and the arena will be ready to go. But they're probably going to flip-flop for the next 2 years between Coliseum and Barclays.
They had to
everyone
get out
hates
of the Barclays.
Everyone hates the Barclays, but hey, they did the best they could to keep the Islanders in New York, in Long Island.
Yes,
That's why I really don't have a problem with it. Because if it wasn't Barclays, it was, okay, we're going to Canada or we're going to Kansas City. Or we're going to Connecticut. So they did what they did to keep the Islanders in New York, to buy them more time to get a new arena. That's exactly what they did, and they've done it. So I'll live with Barclays.
No, in that aspect, 100%. But
it was done with a meaning behind it. There was a long-term goal behind it.
If it was set that this was going to be our new home and they had no plans to do anything else, then I can see the uproar and everything, because just the Barclays is just horrible. But
there was a goal behind it, and they executed that throughout many years, which finally looks like is coming to pass. It's coming to work out finally. But yeah, hockey season now. I got that. We weren't really going to mention hockey, but I was on Twitter and I just looked at the tweet. But no, hockey season maybe like a week and a half away, beginning of October, and we're starting off with hockey season. Basketball season will be right after it, and then we're back into the fall swing of things in sports: football, hockey, basketball, and then October baseball, playoff baseball.
Yep, that me and Ringle won't be enjoying, more than most likely. Jordan will enjoy it, but me and Ringo are on the outside looking in. The Mets right now took 2 or 3 from the Reds. Really needed, obviously, to take all 3. They need to take every single game for here on out.
They took all 3. Wouldn't have mattered.
Well, no, obviously, but if they're not, we're going to keep going until they're not
Milwaukee
mathematically
just
eliminated. But
How many games they got left?
so they have 7 left with 4.5 back. Obviously, the Nationals. Obviously, if they were to have a miracle, it would be to take over the Nationals spot in my mind right now.
Because the Brewers are hot.
The Brewers, they're just not losing.
And
it
the
seems
Cubs
like.
are all 6 in a row.
Yeah, the Cubs. Could you imagine if it was just the Nationals and Cubs and the Brewers were just still back there as they were? The Mets would be right there, half game back behind the Cubs. But obviously, that's not how the MLB is playing out right now. So the Mets, 81-74, they have secured a season where they will not go under 500 for, I think it was, the 3rd season in the last, 12 years or something like that, which is just
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
But
awesome.
It's stuff to look forward to. You have Pete Alonso, who hit his 50th home run of the season during the Red Series. 2 to tie, 3 to break Aaron Judge's rookie record. Does he do it?
It's a good shot. He does.
Well,
I think he has.
I think he'll tie it. I think he'll
You think
tie
he'll
it.
go
I was saying this to a friend at work. I think you can almost guarantee that he ties it. It's just whether or not he breaks it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like he's going to tie it.
Yep, they start their Marlins series tonight.
Well, they have three more series or 2 more series.
Probably 2.
Well, 7 games.
It's
So
probably
unless one of them might be a
4.
doubleheader makeup or something, or just something like that.
Let me look.
So
It's just
they-
the Marlins and the Braves, right? That's
Yep,
what.
4
Oh yeah,
against the Marlins, 3 against the Braves. So if they win the next 4 against the Marlins,
They
maybe
have
it's
to win
gonna.
out with any chance.
Oh no, they're gonna have to.
they
win
have
out.
to win out. They have to win out.
Yes.
They got to go on a 7-game win.
They can maybe get lucky and drop 1 game out of the last 7, but they have to win.
Hope,
Yes.
because Milwaukee doesn't look like they're good at.
No, it's not.
holding
It's the
up.
Nationals.
It's the Nationals. You
Which
gotta
means that this weekend the Mets
Who
are
are the
not happy about it.
let's see who the Nationals
Well,
play.
oh,
these
I know.
days.
This is why I'm about to say what I'm going to say. That's why this means that this weekend the Mets fans are not happy about it, and the Mets aren't happy about it. But we're all Philly fans.
The Phillies are playing the Nationals.
Yes,
They gotta-
is a decent
gotta-
team, and they could
oh,
win
they
some
got-
games.
They got 5 games against the Phillies. It says I'm looking at the schedule. They got today. They got a doubleheader tomorrow, and then they got 2 more games.
And then who did they verse for the last series?
Cleveland.
Okay, so the Nationals.
They got a tough,
The Nationals
they got a
could
tough finish.
literally. And how many games do they have
But
against
so do the
Cleveland?
Mets.
3.
The Mets have to play the Braves.
So they both have.
So- 1, 2. No, the Nationals have 8 games. The Mets have 7.
So now we look at it this way: the Nationals, reading that, they could go 2-6.
Yeah, but the Mets
they
still
could
have to
go
beat
3
the
and
Braves,
5.
who they can't beat. And the only chance you might have is if they rest their starters.
Well,
Let's
if the
look at-
Nationals go 2-6.
Let's look at every
that's-
team. Let's look at Milwaukee. Let's look at the Cubs.
Milwaukee's hot, and the Cubs. Are
I know.
The
I'm
Cubs
just
are a
doing it.
disaster.
I'm just looking at it to look at it.
Right
All right.
now-
How
Kimbrel
the
has been a
Brewers have
disaster.
not lost without Yelich.
The Brewers have a cakewalk to end the season. They got
Yeah.
3 games against Cincinnati and 3 games against Colorado.
That
That's
just
not a
proves Milwaukee's
cakewalk.
That's a cakewalk.
Well, no, it's a cake.
They
could-
might
the Orioles and
they
the
could still
Tigers.
lose one.
Yeah,
It's
but
baseball.
when he said cakewalk, I was thinking Marlins and the Tigers and Orioles.
It's
and all
baseball, so they could
Ed
still
Yost
drop 1 or
retired.
2 of those games,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look good. And then let's look at the Cubs. Let's just finish it off here. Where are you, Cubs? Cubs have Pittsburgh for a 3-game series, and then St. Louis for a
That. Yeah,
3-game
the Cubs.
series.
Nope. St. Louis is gonna probably take those 3 games
St.
and
Louis
end their
just close to the
chances.
division, so they might be resting their starters like Atlanta.
They
does.
might be.
No, aren't they going back and forth still, or are they games
No, they
out?
clinched the division. St. Louis.
Oh, they did. You're right.
Yeah,
They did.
Cubs are on a 6-game losing streak. And
Oh
part
my
of that
God! Yeah,
6-game
the
losing
the
streak-
Cubs got 7 games out. Oh my God!
And
Yeah,
part of that
where are
6-game
you,
losing
Gringo?
streak.
Have
were
you
the
not been paying
I've said
attention?
it 6 times.
I was gonna say the
already.
Cubs have been playing putrid.
I've been
They
saying
have
the
not-
whole time we've been talking about the
Yeah.
playoffs. I've been talking about how the Cubs have been awful.
Yeah.
I literally said that the Mets are a half game behind the Cubs.
No. I knew that they were a half game behind the Cubs, but I thought they were still like treading water. But they're just
Kimbrel blew a game the other night. They
Yeah.
got swept against the Cardinals, and they lost
They're-
by 1 run every game.
they're eliminated from the division. Milwaukee could still win the division.
Milwaukee could still okay. Then the Cardinals still have something to play for.
Yeah, exactly. The Cardinals still have something to
I
play
think your best bet is the Nationals.
That's what I'm saying. I thought
Yeah.
the
St.
Nationals
Louis,
were
St.
secure,
Louis
but the Nationals
clinched
just sound
playoff
like a good-
berth, but they didn't clinch the division. So that's
So-
Yeah, they
So
clinched
I
the playoff
think-
berth. Might be
so
another division.
I think
Yes.
this means that
They-
the
so there was-
Nationals need
there was
to
a
go
point to
2-6. Nationals need to go 2-6, and the Mets
At worst,
can go 6-1.
6-1 at worst.
Yes, 6-1, 2-6,
They need a
or
miracle.
3-5 and 7-0.
3-5 and 7-0. Yeah.
So, but
If the Nationals win
the Mets have to
3
take care of their own
games, you're
stuff.
screwed pretty much, unless you go undefeated.
If the Nationals win 4 games, the season's over. Anything less than that, the Mets have it in their own hands.
Oh my God, no one plays today. We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on today for baseball. No
And-
one's playing.
But 2 of
And
them are
2 of them,
important.
one's the Nationals, one's the Mets.
Yeah, that's what matters.
That's Cardinals play.
all right.
Bryce
Let's
Harper.
go. Let's go Phillies.
Nationals are home. The Phillies are out. Are they out? The Phillies.
They're out. Yeah.
Nah, they're not.
They're out of the division, and
Phillies are elimination numbers 2 for the Phillies.
they're a game and a half behind the Mets. So technically,
Technically,
yeah,
if the
technically
Nationals
rooting
and
for the
Mets-
Phillies is bad as well.
Yeah, the
But-
Phillies are rooting for the Phillies too, right?
They're
now.
not. They're not quitting until they hear the bell. Okay, that's the same thing with the Mets.
So the Phillies
I'm
need
going
to
talk
root
about
for
every situation until
themselves,
it's over.
and they need the Mets to lose too, and the Cubs to lose too. So the Phillies are, the Phillies are not looking good right now. Neither are the Mets. The Mets need a miracle too. But quickly with baseball again, the Yankees, Severino. Before we go off air, because we have, I can't see that. What's that say? 58
you have
minutes.
a minute
All
until
right.
we're at an hour.
So,
we got you third. We got to do our Thursday pick too.
Yeah, we got to do our stupid
All right,
Thursday
hey.
picks. Yeah, we're on the same page.
I was
All
going
right,
to say
so
that pick has
Severino
not been
comes back for
helping.
a second start yesterday and is dominant. He has
He
2
looks good.
starts, has not let up an earned run. He looks really, really good. That is
Yep.
fantastic to see after the Yankees lose their 16-game winner do the domestic violence stuff. So that's good to see. So you do have your 3 starters. You have Paxton, Tanaka, and Severino for the postseason. Paxton's probably your game 1 guy. He's looked unreal. His season is completely turned around. Tanaka is your playoff consistent. He's been good in the playoffs, so you can bank off that. And Severino has looked really good in his 2 starts. Yeah, it's only 2 starts, but he looks like Severino before the All-Star game of last year when he was just on fire. So
he started at like 14-2.
Yeah, and then he fell apart. But he looks like the 14-2 guy in his only 2 starts. Yeah, it's only 2 starts, but he looks great, so it's great to see for the Yankees. So Yankees got 2 games in Tampa, then 3 games in Texas, then they're done. Then they go either to play Minnesota as the 2 seed, which right now I think they're a half game behind the Astros for the best record, not only in the AL and the league, but the AL is the more important one. Or they play the Indians, Oakland, or the Rays, and that might be a play-in game just to get into the wild card game. The wild card, the AL wild card might have a play-in game like last year the NL did to get to the wild card. So cool. So now to end the show, we'll do our stupid Thursday picks,
which is actually a decent Thursday night game.
Oh yeah, finally.
Besides the first one, you have the Eagles going against the Packers, and the Packers are home Thursday night.
What about the Packers? I don't know if you guys noticed this watching Red Zone. The Packers every game start off guns blazing on offense and then just die. And then just stop.
And
all
that's
3
what
games.
That's what the coach said. And the coach is like, you know what, when
Did
that
he?
happens, yes, he
said that. Wow, okay.
He knew
I'm
this.
happy I'm not
and
the
then
one
he's
that
like,
picked
you
up
know what,
on
when
this.
we get to our low, we're just going to pick up the pace, baby. And
Yeah, they just throw in the, like, okay, we put up 20. We're done. They come out guns blazing all 3 games, and then they just go into a shell and like, okay, I think we got this game in the bag. We're going to coast it. I don't know why. I was happy the coach picked up on that. I thought I was the only one.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
All right, Tom started off.
all right, Eagles-Packers. The spread is set at
-4.5.
Packers -4.5. Okay, well, I don't know. The Eagles haven't really been living up to the hype train. I'll go Packers -4.5. I think we all know where Ringo's going with this. I'll just write it down.
I might be going Packers.
Shocking.
I know.
My second favorite team is the Eagles.
I do. Yeah, I'm obviously a Jets fan, but
I'll
I do.
go the Eagles to win or lose by less than 4.5.
I know this is tough. I'm still deciding. Just the way the Packers defense looks, I think you got to. I'm going to go Packers. I'm going to go
The Packers
Packers.
will put up 21 in the first half, and they'll be like, you know what? I think we got this. And they'll win like 21-17.
Well, now that they address the issue, maybe they'll fix it.
Hey,
So,
I think that we thought the Steelers addressed the issue, but it turns out they're back to square one.
Adam Gase said after the game that the offense was atrocious. So you know what? After the bye,
issue is addressed.
they're going to come out
Week
guns
5,
blazing.
here
as
come
long,
the Jets.
if you just say it and you say we're accountable, that's it.
Then it's going
season's
to happen,
changed.
right?
That's
Then it's
all
going
you
to
need.
happen.
All you need is your injured guys to come back and your coach to say,
Yeah.
you know what, we haven't played good, and you're going to win out.
Yep.
That's the Jets' motto, and that's
It's that easy, right?
Jesus. All right. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for here on the Monday in Practical Talker Sports Show. We'll be back Friday to talk about the Thursday game and to preview the upcoming weekend. We're right near. By the time Friday comes, we'll get a good indication on how the Mets look for the playoffs, even though it's kind of looking bleak right now. But Friday will be right into postseason baseball, right into Week 4. And we'll see what else happens. Hey, maybe more Antonio Brown stuff. We don't know. He's not even on a team anymore. We didn't even touch upon it.
I'm happy we don't have to talk about
Yep,
him.
hopefully we don't have much to talk about. But Jordan, Tom and I left. Ringo on the Skype. We'll see you on Friday.